What's up, YouTube? Another video. I was doing a couple of videos with my toys. I just did my video with my side-by-side, my Intimidator. Now I'm going to do the one on our Slingshot. If you watched my first video, I mentioned how when I wanted my Intimidator, my wife said we couldn't afford it. She wouldn't let me have it, but she went out over the next 4 years, and bought herself 3 cars, bought each of my two children, a car apiece. And when I retired in 2020, 2021, I went out and finally got this. Well, I'd had it about 2 months when she woke me up one morning and said, "Jerome, I want a Slingshot." I'm like, "What's a Slingshot?" "This is a Slingshot." I'm like, "Where did you get that idea from? What are you?" "Well, you got a side-by-side." I'm like, so you buy, you shop, you get everything you want. The first time I get something, you got to have something, but she had to. I've never really told her no for some reason. I've paid for it, I promise. But this is a Slingshot. And we discussed the color. She wanted this blue one, and I'm like, okay, we'll go for the blue one. And my grandbaby at the time, who she was only 2 when we got it, 2 or 3, she wanted red. It took it 5 months to come in. And she wanted red, she kept saying she wanted red. So we told her we were gonna name it. We named it Red at first. So that way, even though you didn't get your color, you can always say, well, hey, it's red. But once it showed up, she didn't act a baby. She was cool with the blue, she liked it. My wife named it Lil Mama. She named it Lil Mama because my side-by-side is named Big Boy. Big Boy and Lil Mama. I wanted her to get the orange Slingshot, but again, she liked the blue, so we went with it. So a little history. Again, just like my side-by-side, we got this right after COVID. So you were having to order them at the time. You couldn't really walk in the dealership and find any. You just couldn't find any. So we ordered it. We called absolutely every dealership in America. Absolutely every dealership told us the truth. We can't tell you how long it'll take, anywhere between 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. One dealership, I have nothing but good things to say about this dealership, but I'm going to also tell the truth. They told us, oh, it'll be here in 3 months. So we went with them. And after that, when we said, well, you told us 3 months. Oh, well, that's out of our control. Well, that's not what you said over the phone. But still, Chattanooga, you're the greatest. Y'all did us good. Chattanooga was 4 hours away. It showed up in 5 months. We drove to Chattanooga to get it. It's a 4-hour trip. There was 3 dealerships, only 2 hours away. But we went to Chattanooga. We enjoyed the ride, no problem. We hauled it back on the trailer. The only thing we got with it at the time, it doesn't come with this top. This top was like, at the time it was $1,800. After 5 months of waiting on it, it went up to $1,900. And I didn't notice till we got home, he charged me that $1,900. These things are, no matter what I say during this video, make no mistakes, we love it. We absolutely love it. It's the best thing we ever did. It is so great for bonding. You know, me and my wife we get along great. So just riding, enjoying life. I'm retired. She, on the weekends when we can get away. If we're in groups, small groups, big group, we've been in groups as small as 6 to 10. We've been in groups of over 100. But I myself like it better when we're just out on our own. We can go do what we want. Get out, ride, stop, go to a park, find some pretty scenery, stop, eat, get some ice cream, whatever we want to do. When you're with groups, you pretty much have to do what the group wants to do. So we enjoy it. So again, no matter what I say, we are 100%, 200% happy with it. But as far as Slingshots go, I'm just going to tell you, are they overpriced? Yes, they're overpriced. That's what happened when you have a monopoly. Nobody else sells these. So everything about a Slingshot is overpriced, from the price to the modifications to everything about it. If it's Slingshot related when you buy it, it's overpriced. Every once in a while, you can find something that's not necessarily for the slingshot, but you put it in a slingshot, like this little mama thing. To get it from the Sling Mods place, I think it was like $100-something. We found something on our own and put it on. It was only $20. But like the top, $1,900. And they charged us $125 an hour to install it. It took 2 hours. A lot of tops people tend to be able to put them on their own. This was new at the time, not so easy. You had to kind of dismantle the slingshot to get this top on. So we let them do it. They charged us $125 an hour for 2 hours. Understand the slingshot. When you buy a brand new slingshot, this is why people buy used. When you buy a brand new slingshot, the price is high enough, but there's some hidden fees. One of the hidden fees is the delivery. They charge you, estimate, $2,500 that they don't tell you anything about. They don't tell you anything about until you go to do the paperwork. And well, when you look at it, they bring you up, there's a $2,500 charge. You're like, what is this? Oh, well, that's delivery. So I had to pay, if it's sitting in a dealership already, or if they order it, you have to pay $2,500 delivery. Next, there was like a $300 or $400 or $500 setup fee. Once it gets there, they finish putting like the mirrors on, tighten up some screws, charge you $300, $400, $500 for that. Everything about it is high price. Everything about it. We've bought a whole bunch of these high price things. The one thing I refuse to get is the cup holders. Where the cup holders are at, it's not the most convenient space. When you're riding, they make another cup holder that goes over the radio, but it's $140 for a little plastic cup holder that holds two drinks. I just refuse to buy them. So along with the price of this, along with that delivery fee, along with taxes, along with everything you do, you know, a brand new and basic, you're not gonna walk out of there under $36,000. But we love it. There's nothing else I can say. I never thought I would like it more than my side-by-side. I adore my side-by-side, but you can put a tag on these. You can't put a tag on a side-by-side in Mississippi. We can put a tag on these, therefore we can go wherever we want. We've had some nice trips, some nice slingshot rallies. We live in North Mississippi. We've been to Jackson, Mississippi. We've been to Nashville, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama. Our little local crew, we've took some trips. A lot of our guys are from Tennessee. They took us up in Tennessee on them back roads. I couldn't tell you where we were at, but they've been the best rides. We went to Loretta Lynn Ranch, and we took this one trip where we loaded about 6 or 7 or 8 slingshots on a barge and crossed a body of water. That was cool. So a little more about these. No matter what I say negative about it, understand I do adore it. It's the best thing we've ever done. But we're not happy about everything. One of the things are the price. But during them 5 months while we had it ordered, we did our homework. There's an online presence with slingshots. A humongous group of people who give their reports on slingshots, their likes, their dislikes, their do's and what we do and where we ride and the fun we have. And one of the things that I saw was the service lights. Service lights come on these things. A lot of times for no reason at all. Sometimes there's a reason, but a lot of times there's no reason at all. These service lights come on. And everybody's gonna give you a reason why they think the service lights are on. But I'm about willing to bet you that 9 times out of 10, those lights come on because of the battery in this thing. Polaris put the cheapest battery that they could find. A lot of people put a second battery in here, but Polaris put the cheapest battery in this thing to keep it running. That's why you have to keep a tender plugged up. We just unplugged the tender, but you have to keep a tender plugged up to keep that battery going good and strong, and it works. Without that tender in there, people are always calling who don't use them, talking about the battery is dead. Well, the battery in here is so weak that it causes the computer to just say malfunction. It causes the computer in this thing to jump or skip, and it causes these lights on this dash to come on. And a lot of times there's nothing wrong. The computer just went wacko for a second. Sometimes the lights go off over time, sometimes they don't. And with the lights on, your cruise control does not work. That's really inconveniencing on those long rides. My biggest issue, absolutely biggest issue, what I'm gonna give Polaris an F in, the warranty work. You can't get warranty work. They give you a 2-year warranty. After 2 years, they give you the option of an extra 3-year warranty for $1,600. We bought this in November of 22. By April of 23, our service lights had came on, and we tried to get them fixed. We also, as low as they sit to the ground, we hit a bad spot on the road once and busted the radiator. So we called Polaris. Need to get them fixed. The first place, I'm not gonna say any names. I'm not. One of the places I wanna say the names, but turned out a friend of mine works there, so I'm not gonna do them like that. But the first place, I understand at first they didn't have a mechanic. But once they got a mechanic, it was like, well, we're busy, call us back in a month. Okay, call us back in a month. Okay, we're gonna call you. And that went into over a year of them telling you, hey, buy that extended warranty, but we're not gonna even let you use your original warranty. I mean, it was so unfair. We kept calling, they kept calling. And after a year, I put a bad review out on him. And how dare he replies to me about how, no, you just wouldn't bring it in. We wanted you to bring it in and all of this nonsense, when the whole year he wouldn't let us bring it in. The second place, they let us bring it in, but it sat there for 8 weeks and they never touched it. It sat there for 8 weeks and they never touched it. After 6 weeks, we called them and asked them how they got to it, and they said, no, mind you, the repair process with Polaris is timely. First, they have to go over it. Then they have to send in for the approval for the warranty. Once the approval comes back, then they have to order the parts. Once the parts come in, they have to schedule a date to fix it. That right there is 3-4 weeks alone. So after it sat at this second dealership for 6 weeks, we called and finally told them, hey, if y'all haven't got to it, we're just gonna come pick it up. We're just gonna come pick it up. They said, oh no, we're gonna get to it next week. That's what they told us, next week. So next week came, we called them and said, yeah, we got to it. We sent in for your warranty approval. So for 2 more weeks, we kept calling. Have they approved it? Have they approved it? I mean, this takes a day to approve the warranty. After 2 weeks, they kept on, oh, somebody's out of the office. Oh, they haven't got to it. They just kept on. Well, finally, when we told them again, we're just gonna come get it, they said, oh, okay, they approved the warranty. Well, great. So for 2 more weeks, we kept calling, have they got to it? Have they got to it? They hadn't got to it, so we told them this time, and we meant it. We're coming to get it. You've had it for over 8 weeks. We're coming to get it, and when y'all are ready to fix it, let us know. We get there to get it, and it's still sitting where we left it. They have their dealership, and about 2 miles down the street, they've got their warehouse. It was still sitting in the back of that warehouse, dirty and dusty and filthy in that warehouse. They never touched it. They had never got to it. They had lied about saying they had got to the warranty stuff. They never did. So this coming up year, our warranty ran out in November of 24. We needed to get this work done. By then, there was a couple of issues, and 2 or 3 or 4 actually. Nothing really major, nothing stopping the machine from running, but things that needed to be fixed while your warranty was going. So my wife wanted to take it beginning of the summer of 24. I'm like, well, if we take it now, you know it takes them 2 months to get it fixed. We're gonna miss the whole riding season. So I convinced her to wait till October when riding season was over with after our last event. And we took it to, I'm gonna say their name because they did us right. We took it to the dealership in Huntsville. Huntsville was nice. We walked in to their smile. They were nice. They treated us good, got us some water, but they were really nice. And they called us the next week and they told us, their plans of when they're gonna get to it, everything. And he guessed they made it 3 weeks. Well, I knew it wasn't going to be 3 weeks. I knew it was going to be longer than that. So I never believed the 3 weeks. And it wasn't. But they got on it. I'd guesstimated it was going to take 2 months. They got on it. And within 6 weeks, everything was ready and they went to fix it. So 6 weeks' time, they were doing good. Unfortunately, while they were fixing it, something broke. A piece they needed to fix something broke. They had to order it. And I hate it, but it took it 3 weeks for that piece to come in. So that was 9 weeks. And then it took them another week to get to it, but they did. In 10 weeks, they had it done. It would have been done in 6 weeks. Things happen as much as we wanted it back. It's winter time. It ain't like we could have wrote it much anyway. So I give Huntsville an A. They did their best, other than the blinker situation. We told them the blinker was out. They called us and told, oh, your blinker's working. And the day they were going to give it to us, they went and looked and the blinker wasn't working. And now he has to order a whole new blinker piece. I mean, with these, it's not like a bulb, like in a car with the blinker. It's a whole unit has to be replaced with the blinker. Everything in this thing is a computer. And he calls us and tells us they've got to order it. It'll take about 2 weeks. And I was kind of frustrated because I told him, but we told you the blinker was out. We told you, when you called and told us the blinker was working, we told you to double check. That blinker's been out for a year. Evidently, they didn't double check. And the day they got done and realized the blinker wasn't working, it was going to be 2 weeks. And I kind of had something to say, but in the middle of me talking, they went and looked and luckily had a blinker in stock. So they had it done that day. We went and picked it up, 10 weeks time, not complaining. So we've been happy. Some of the upgrades we did, of course, we got the top. My wife put the name on it, Little Mama, if you can see it, this son. We got the seat covers. After a while, I started thinking that was too much blue. It looked like a Smurf, but it's grew on me. We love it. The floor mats, again, if you can see them, expensive. These floor mats were $400. They were on sale for $300 though, $299, and no shipping. So hey, we took it. She's put the hand things on the wheel. And everything time she go to do the expensive things like these rims, I'm like, we'd only had it a year. We hadn't even got a use out of our original wheels. And I'm like, well, let's wait till we get some wear and tear on those first. But she wanted them. She got them. They were $5,000 between ordering them. We got the wheels, the rims, installation, $5,000. Goodness. The lights. You can't have a Slingshot without the LED lights. Again, I was like, who needs those lights? But when she got them, I'd be lying if I said I didn't love them. It's daytime. You might not can see the lights so good. You probably can't. But they're beautiful at night. There's like 400 settings on those lights. They blink, they change colors. They do a lot of things. They're on the body, they're in the wheels, and the underglow. But again, you can't see it. She put her new system in there. I love the system came with it. It was fine. I'm not one to spend thousands of dollars so someone else can hear your music, but she had to have it. I think we were overcharged. We went to one of those fancy car stereo places that probably did overcharge you, but she loves it. It's nothing like some of those stereos at the competitions at the Slingshot events. Goodness, you got people there who spent $20,000 on the stereos alone. I mean, it's not even a Slingshot anymore. It's a stereo holder. I mean, they've just got so many boxes with speakers all around it. So for the most part, that's our review. Again, overpriced, yes. Do we love it? Absolutely. It's the best thing a happily married couple can do. Our time out bonding with it. We've enjoyed it. I have to admit, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I tell my wife, it's not for me, but we love it. She does most of the driving. I operate the stereo. Even found a piece. I'll do another video soon about the Apple CarPlay. I think you have to pay a subscription for Apple CarPlay, but they found a trick to trick the system to go around it. And with that, I saw this little piece on TikTok. It's called a auto box, where instead of hooking your phone up to CarPlay, you can hook up this auto box, and that auto box has an HDMI hookup. So anything that hooks up HDMI, you can hook it up in here. So I got our Fire Stick and put it in and was curious if it would work, and sure enough, it worked. So it actually turns our screen into a TV screen. I watched Fred Sanford in here yesterday. It was so neat. I'll show it on another video. I'll be showing how to fix your CarPlay. It's a little tricky, but once you learn how to do it, it's simple. So I guess I didn't miss anything. So do I recommend anyone get a Slingshot? I do. Some of the negatives about it, I won't call them negatives. I'm just going to say it happens to a lot of them. The belt, for instance, this belt, you have to keep it clean. This belt makes this terrible noise. So if you don't clean it regularly, it makes this terrible noise right down the street with this terrible squeal. Clean it, learn how to clean it with soap and dishwashing liquid, and it does fine. There is a rear angle drive in here that on so many of them, it leaks. That's one of the things we have to get fixed on warranty, the rear angle drive. I mentioned our radiator. I've heard of so many of them where the radiator got hit. This is because it's low to the ground. The Bluetooth in here, it does great, but it disconnects a lot. A lot of people complain about that. Glove compartment, it sticks. So I thought it was just us when I found 10 other people in like a day's time who told me their glove compartment sticks. I guess I could. So all in all, again, I don't know if you can see the lights. I would change them to a different setting, but I can't get to my app while I'm recording here. So again, we're extremely happy with it. Also, we got those visors. Really? They weren't bad at all. I took mine out. It was just blocking my view. Blocking my view to the point it wasn't worth, but my wife kept hers in there. So that is my update on the Polaris Slingshot. This is a 22 model. I do definitely recommend that if you want one, go for it. YOLO. You only live once. These are nice. Attention getters. Sometimes too much attention. People have jumped out on us at night with things in our hand. Turned out, majority of times it's phones, but you just never know. Stopped at a traffic light and somebody jumps out and comes running up to you. That's not the wisest thing to do. But okay. That's my review of a 22 SL Slingshot.